Kurdish forces from Iraq have launched a ground offensive against Iran targeting the Iranian regime. Israeli officials have confirmed to Channel 12 that clashes on the ground are already being recorded in northwest Iran between Kurdish and Iranian military units. According to sources, Kurdish fighters associated with the Kurdistan Free Life Party began taking up combat positions inside Iran on March 2. The interlocutor noted that Iranian troops evacuated the border town of Marivan on March 3 and began establishing defensive positions in and around the area. U.S. official told Fox News that thousands of Iraqi Kurds have launched a ground offensive in Iran. The comments come amid several media reports suggesting that Washington may be considering Kurdish groups as potential partners in efforts to pressure the Iranian regime. According to CNN, the CIA is exploring plans to arm Kurdish forces with the aim of fomenting a popular uprising inside Iran. Meanwhile, Axios reported that U.S. President Donald Trump spoke with Kurdish leaders in Iraq to discuss the ongoing conflict involving Israel and Iran and possible next steps. The Wall Street Journal has also reported that the Trump administration is open to supporting armed groups inside Iran willing to challenge the government. Coalition of Political Forces of Iranian Kurdistan officials said several Kurdish political and armed factions are prepared to cooperate with the U.S. and Israel. Most of the armed Eastern Kurdistan parties are ready to work in unity and openly with the State of Israel and the USA, he said. In addition to PJAK, he named several groups active in Iranian Kurdistan, the Kurdistan Democratic Party of Iran, Kamala factions, and the Freedom Party of Kurdistan. While PJAK has several thousand fighters, the official said the other groups together have only a few hundred militants, many of whom fought against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. Right now, there are a few thousand trained armed forces in eastern Kurdistan who are ready to be armed by the State of Israel and the USA, he said. The CPFIK official framed Kurdish cooperation with Israel and the United States as part of a broader geopolitical vision. He argued that Iran is a multinational country, composed of many ethnic groups, including Kurds, Baloch, Azeris, Turkmen, and Arabs, and suggested that weakening Tehran could allow these communities greater autonomy or independence. He also said a future Kurdish state could serve as a strategic corridor linking the Persian Gulf to Israel. Kurds are a powerful force to defeat the enemies of Israel, he said, arguing that Kurds and Jews share common adversaries in the region. The Kurds and the Jews are natural allies in the Middle East, he said, adding that many Kurds view Israel's establishment as proof that independence is achievable for stateless nations. U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on Iranian capital Tehran continue as the war drags on. More videos have been released in social media capturing scenes of destruction in the capital. Videos show overnight attack on the city, followed by powerful explosions and plumes of black smoke. Tehran has faced repeated bombardment as part of a large-scale offensive launched on February 28. Since then, dozens, possibly hundreds, of strikes have targeted the capital as well as other regions of Iran. Blasts have been reported in central districts and near government compounds, while Iranian authorities say the attacks have caused substantial damage to infrastructure, public buildings, and residential areas. According to officials, the strikes have focused on military installations, air defense networks, command and control centers, and senior government sites, including the Presidential Office and the Supreme National Security Council building in Tehran. According to Iranian media, Iranian state media report that more than 1,000 people have been killed during 5 days of U.S.-Israeli attacks on Iran. Iran has continued retaliatory strikes, targeting Israel and U.S.-aligned Gulf states, with some attacks reaching beyond military objectives to hit civilian locations and energy infrastructure.
ترسنده. افکار امینو زد با پشت خونه من، همون دانشگاه افسری. به زنگ میزنم، دارم فیلم میگیرم. به زنگ میزنم. خدا.
A torpedo fired by a U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship off the coast of Sri Lanka, whose navy said Wednesday it recovered 87 bodies and rescued 32 people. According to Associated Press, at the National Hospital in Gal, a town on Sri Lanka's southern coast, Iranian sailors' bodies were arriving in trucks and being stored in a makeshift mortuary. The hospital was guarded by Sri Lankan police and naval personnel, as workers unloaded bodies away from view. The Iranian vessel sunk in the Indian Ocean was the Islamic Republic's prize ship, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said. It was one of the few instances of a submarine sinking a ship since World War II. The sinking of the Iris Dina illustrates a U.S.-Israeli military operation against Iran's military that is stretching beyond its borders. U.S. President Donald Trump has said one of the key objectives of the war is to wipe out Iran's navy. Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Vijitha Harath told Parliament that its navy received information that the Iris Dina, with 180 people on board, was in distress and sinking. The island nation sent ships and planes on a rescue mission, he said. Navy spokesman Commander Bhadika Sampath said by the time Navy ships reached the location, there was no sign of the ship in distress and that they found people floating on the water. He said the 32 people rescued were admitted to a hospital in Gal and that the recovered bodies were also being brought to land. Dr. Anil Jaisingh, a top health ministry official, said one of those rescued is in critical condition, 7 are receiving emergency treatment and others are being treated for minor injuries. The Iris Dina, one of Iran's newest warships, patrolled in deep water, and was armed with heavy guns, surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles and torpedoes. It carried 1 helicopter. The ship had been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department in February 2023, along with 8 executives of an Iranian drone manufacturer that supplied weapons to Russia for use against civilian targets in Ukraine. At least 17 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk during the ongoing war, said U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper, who leads the American military's Central Command.